What's good, YouTube? Today we got another reaction for y'all. Today we're gonna be watching Dr. Insanity. If y'all aren't new to the channel here, y'all know I would quite often watch Dr. Insanity. At least that's what I thought before I looked at my channel and realized that it has been 3 to 4 months since I last watched him. So yeah, we've been kind of slacking. So yeah, we back on our grind. The title of this video is called "Cops Discover a Car Filled with Serial Killers Victims." And yeah, I'm excited to see how this goes. This video is 50 minutes long. And I don't know if it's because I'm getting older, but recently, bro, like my attention span has been so bad. Like I genuinely feel like I can't sit and watch a video like this. So we're gonna put it in 2x speed, or at least a speed that we can watch it in. That's understandable. Yeah, I'm not gonna talk y'all head off too much. If y'all new to the channel, make sure y'all smash the like and sub button. Let's get into it.
Police just arrived at an airport parking lot to investigate reports of an abandoned truck. Initially, it seemed like just another routine call with nothing unusual, but that's when it hit them.
It smells. I think it smells like decomp. It smells something.
Inside the truck lay 4 brutalized and dismembered bodies hidden inside boxes.
You know a person like, not person, but the cops, like, they've been through a lot when like they know what this, like, the smell of like dead body smell like, like it just becomes something like they're used to. It's just sad though, but fortunately that's part of their job, be able to identify stuff like that. And it's crazy.
What officers didn't know at the time is that 11 more bodies lay buried and hidden in remote areas of the state. An
11?
active, twisted serial killer was on the loose, and detectives were already months behind.
Remember the last time you saw him? Maybe a couple of months ago. We don't care about anything else other than finding Mac. Just never did that. There's no focus. I got everything together yesterday. What do you need? You know what I mean? Like, I know we lost it, man. What we did.
Taking these other 11, did you take them all to the same place? If you ever came back out to Mexico, would you be willing to take us?
Come on, bro. We like 2 minutes into the video and we already got an ad, bro. Come on, bro. Sorry, y'all. We ain't paid for premium this month. Sorry, y'all. Sorry, not sorry.
It started on a Sunday afternoon when police in Granson, New Mexico received a mysterious call. A landlord had just discovered something he described as disturbing while cleaning out an evicted tenant's home. Officers immediately headed to the address to investigate.
So this guy hasn't paid us since July, but with COVID going on, we couldn't evict him, so we've had nothing but problems with him. Anyways, we finally got him to move out, so I seen him today. We haven't come by, we haven't messed with him. But, when I came by, he says, I'm going to leave you a pile to throw. Well, we didn't know which pile, so we started to load it up. While we were moving some things, and we found this puppy in his box underneath some of the kid stuff, Okay. So we go to put the puppy in the bag because we were going to bury it, and then we see that they had tied a cord on its neck. Okay. But we've had, like I said, nothing but problems with these guys.
And the fact that this dude called over a puppy, it granted justice for a lot of people that got harmed by this particular dude, because this dude never called, they probably wouldn't have to go through the string of events of what led him to do this, or if he's like what's wrong with him. So yeah, something as small as a puppy, and it's sad that people treat their pets like that. Like you have your pet wrapped around a cord, bro. Like that's crazy, bro. And you just like, it kind of seems like this is something he does so often that he forgot to like dispose of the puppy. And in this case, based on like the trailer of the video, it seems that he does do this often. So he just forgot about the puppy. He's like, oh, the puppy is probably the least of his concerns. So he just like didn't even care. That's just the type of person he is. That just that alone.
So I at least want to put the report on file. I know we won't be able to say who did it and when, but that needs to be associated with him, because we're going to take him to court for a lot of other things. If I can just have that on file, it'll help. Okay.
It was clear the puppy had suffered a horrific death. Animal control arrived shortly afterwards and confirmed it had been deliberately tortured, noting a cord tied tightly around its neck. The cruelty of this scene was deeply unsettling, and the officer immediately recognized they were dealing with someone truly twisted.
Yeah, I'm disturbed.
Absolutely. That's just sad. I just that right there just really got me, because that's like that's not cool at all. Right?
No, absolutely. Cruel, awful people.
Yeah, you tried to get in, like landlords, we tried to go into it. They went in, they painted everything their own colors, and they just ruined everything.
Unfortunately for investigators, the puppy was just the first body. And in the coming days, police would uncover more gruesome scenes, strange disappearances.
Yeah, that commentator did not have to say that, but yeah, that along with what he said, I'm sure that has to go with why they're taking him to court to sue him. Like as we can see from just the outside of the house, like it's stuff thrown all over the place. He said they painted the walls they're not supposed to. Like, bro, niggas just don't care.
disappearances and disturbing evidence pointing to something far more calculated than anyone expected. That same day, Detective Robert Turney was assigned a missing persons case involving 19-year-old Matthew Miller. Matthew's grandmother had called 911 a couple of days earlier, worried because she hadn't seen or heard from him in nearly a week. It turned out police were already familiar with Matthew and knew he had previously struggled with substance abuse, so initially they assumed his disappearance was drug-related. Maybe he overdosed somewhere. But Matthew's family insisted something was different this time and urgently requested to speak with detectives. Trusting their instincts, Detective Turney decided to visit Matthew's grandmother, where he would discover some unsettling new possibilities.
So you guys can help me out by just calling around to hospitals, clinics, rehabilitation places, other county jails, and just see if he's there. So prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Okay. But I will tell you, I had more than enough to arrest Matthew several times, and he's not one of those people that I wanted to arrest. Matthew's not gonna pull a gun on anybody, right? To get his drugs.
Wait, what did he say? You said he's not a cool guy?
And he's not one of those people that I wanted to arrest. Matthew's not going to pull a gun on anybody, right? To get his drugs. He's not the kind of person. That's my main thing. And he probably has a little bit of a complex because he knows he's that kind of person. And so he's going to be real hesitant to reach out and tell you guys the actual truth about this person taking advantage of me. You know what I'm saying? So just forgive him. All you can do is tell him you love him. And you forgive him and go from there.
After rehashing some information with Matthew's family, Detective Turney would go on to learn some critical details. Matthew's girlfriend told the family she saw him getting into a vehicle with several other people, including a blonde woman named Jennifer Lannon, someone Matthew had recently been spending time with. He also learned that Matthew often spent time with a close friend named Justin Mata and his girlfriend, Leonie Calzada. All three were known to use drugs together. Acting quickly on these promising new leads, police began searching locations Matthew was known to frequent, and soon enough, they...
Y'all think this is a drug deal going wrong? I mean, they clearly already mentioned that he struggled with substance abuse. So, like, I'm thinking, like, what if this is like, like, all these people are obviously druggies, There's just things just went wrong.
located Matthew's Chevy Colorado truck,
Who knows?
parked and seemingly
We don't
abandoned
find
within a
out,
few
though.
blocks away from Leonie and Justin's residence. The truck was dirty, locked, and appeared to have been parked there for several days. Inside, detectives found clothing and personal belongings, as well as several unsettling items including a pair of rubber gloves and a shovel lying in the truck's bed. They also found multiple cell phones that were damaged in the front and back seats. It seemed clear Matthew hadn't intended to leave the truck there, and detectives sensed something wasn't right. Immediately, investigators canvassed the area and found surveillance cameras nearby, one of which captured Matthew's truck arriving at Leonie and Justin's address on January 26th, just 3 days before Matthew was reported missing. With these new alarming discoveries, Detective Turney knew the next logical step was to urgently speak with Matthew's friends, Justin Mata and Leonie Calzada, hoping they could shed some light on the situation. However, when they arrived at the couple's residence, they would quickly realize Matthew wasn't the only one missing.
If you play video games a lot, you might be able to get paid some real money. If you live in the US and you play video games for over 10 hours...
Shut up, nigga.
No, just you? You sure? Okay, look at me. Hey, guys.
Hey, Ethan.
My name's Robert.
He's gone. He's gone.
You gone?
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Okay.
This is Leonie Calzada, the girlfriend of Matthew's close friend, Justin Mata, and someone detectives suspected might know exactly what happened to Matthew.
It's very, very important. We're looking for Matthew Miller. He's been missing for over 2 weeks. When was the last time he was here?
Maybe a year ago?
A year ago.
When I first got this place, yeah. When I first got it, last January.
He hasn't been here since then.
I know,
Okay.
right?
What if I got video of his vehicle?
Maybe there been 5 years, right?
Okay. When was the last time you saw him here?
His, once you remove it, I forgot to place
A year ago? You think Justin would have,
He would have, yeah, probably.
when you weren't here?
I wouldn't know, I was just thinking because they said all that, yeah.
Man, she lying, bro. Like, bro, now she already a conflict of interest, bro. 'Cause she's lying, which makes it seem like she's covering up something, bro. She lying, bro.
We did that on 17th, when we met. And then I went-
17th? That's a long time ago.
Yeah, and then I went to talk to the guy king. He's like, yeah, they like each other. They're really nice and they're in their room.
Do you have any kind of way to contact Justin? You have a phone number?
No, he's like, what?
Well, what's his phone number? Email,
He
Facebook?
took my phone, I don't have no. Take my phone, yeah. Took away. Everybody.
When's the last time you had any kind of communication with
That's
Justin?
when he said to my coach, I'm going to coach.
What I would like to do, all right, is look around your house for any kind of evidence of Matthew Miller, any kind of foul play, no, anything other than that.
According to Leonie, her boyfriend, Justin, had also mysteriously vanished, and she hadn't seen him since January 17th, nearly 2 weeks before Matthew was even reported missing. But investigators knew something wasn't adding up when Leonie insisted she hadn't seen Matthew in nearly a year. Surveillance footage clearly showed Matthew's truck outside her residence just days before he disappeared. With their suspicion mounting, detectives decided to search Leonie's home, hoping to uncover whether she might be hiding something. Or someone.
Did you notice anything strange that happened around here? Did you notice anything different?
But at this point, anything they find, bro, in her house, bro, she know is there, bro. She already conflict of interest, like, because like she already lied about not like the nigga not being there and her not seeing the nigga in a year, bro. Like, come on, bro.
For around here, like any kind of blood, needles. What about needles or pills or anything like that?
Now you're not sure, bro. Imagine somebody coming in your house asking you something in regards to your house and you say you're not sure, bro. Like, nigga, it's your house, bro. Nigga's lying.
Okay. We can only find one person dead in a trunk per year. That's my max.
Despite their best efforts, investigators found no signs of foul play or violence. Still, Detective Turney couldn't shake the feeling that something was overlooked, so he returned to speak briefly with Leone, unaware she'd drop a crucial clue.
Arizona. I was at the 17th.
Leone revealed that Justin had recently taken off with another woman named Jennifer, supposedly heading to Arizona to re-up on drugs and make some money. With this new detail, Detective Turney now found himself investigating the disappearances of 3 different people: Matthew Miller, Justin Mata, and now, potentially, Jennifer. Not yet aware just how closely connected these cases
Niggas called him Matthew Miller. Nah, he know what he was doing.
really were. So to move forward, Turney quickly looked into Jennifer and discovered she had recently been reported missing by her ex-husband, Sean Lannon. That name sounded familiar to Detective Turney, because just days earlier, officers had responded to a disturbing call at 817 Kingman Avenue, the same property where the remains of a puppy had been uncovered. And the tenants evicted from that very house, Sean and Jennifer Lannon. Finally, investigators were starting to connect the dots. 3 people, all closely linked through drugs and personal relationships, had vanished within days of each other. Detective Turney realized it was time to canvass the neighborhood surrounding Sean and Jennifer's former home, hoping a neighbor might have seen something suspicious or could offer the lead they desperately needed. That's when they found a neighbor whose security camera was pointed directly at Sean and Jennifer's old residence, and what the investigators saw on the footage would finally bring some much-needed clarity to their case. Without this neighbor's camera, detectives might have hit another frustrating dead end, and it shows just how important reliable security can be, because when something happens every second...
But that camera is clear as hell, bro. Hold on.
Frustrating dead end, and it shows just how important reliable security can be, because when something happens, every second matters. That's why I partnered with Simply Safe Home Security to provide
I knew it couldn't been this video, bro. I knew it.
which sends me a notification keeping on the road. Simply Safe.
Nice try, bro.
But investigators never see him leave. Hours later, Sean is spotted on camera driving away in Matthew's truck, and when he returns, he's alone, on foot, and Matthew is nowhere to be seen. 2 days later, on January 28th, the same camera recorded someone loading household items into a red Dodge Dakota parked outside the residence and driving away. This CCTV footage marked a critical turning point for investigators. For the first time, detectives had visual proof of Matthew at Jennifer and Sean's residence. With this significant new lead, the next step was clear. Detective Turney needed to speak directly to Sean. Only his account could clarify what happened that day and potentially reveal crucial details about the missing trio. The next morning, Detective Turney reached out to Sean and agreed to sit down for a formal interview. Whatever Sean said next had the potential to shift the direction of this case completely.
So, first things first, let's get her into this net thing. Okay? Have you ever seen Matthew Miller, you know what I'm talking about? Is he over at your house? Yeah. Before the third, was his truck ever parked at your house? More than like a day, I would know. Not sure. Have you ever driven his truck? Have you driven his truck? When was the last time you drove his truck? A couple weeks ago. A couple weeks ago? So, again, when did you find out that they split and took off to Arizona and ran away together or whatever? It was 7 weeks ago. Came back.
Oh, so that's his.
Have anything to do with Joe?
So that's the guy Sean. This is Sean's ball right here.
Her disappearance, I don't think you think something bad happened to Matthew and Jennifer?
Yeah, Jennifer drug shows used to be. She came back with more bills than I can imagine. Like, she loved those.
Man, I just get a really, really bad feeling about all this. You don't?
I do.
You don't seem...
I've been in the circle for a minute.
Has she ever done this before?
Yeah.
During the interview, Detective Turney notices something strange. Sean remains unnervingly calm, especially considering his ex-wife and the mother of his 3 young children has just vanished. Turney begins to question whether Sean is simply a bystander caught up in a tragic situation or if he knows more than he's letting on.
If you manage a rental property, you know that managing a successful rental comes with its share of difficulties.
The next day, Detective Turney would get his answer, as police received an unexpected call from a man named Josh Hall. Josh was an acquaintance of Matthew Miller and claimed he'd recently witnessed something that deeply concerned him, directly related to the strange disappearances. Investigators quickly arranged for a meeting with Josh, hoping his account would finally provide the breakthrough they were looking for.
What's going on with Matthew, man? That's my chick's cousin. Check this out, man. Check this out. Follow me. Check this out, man. Yesterday, right? Like Kelly. Right, Sean, he wants to talk to you. I guess he had to talk to you or something. He goes to Kelly's like, watch, stashed in the back, and stealing. Gun, Jack his wife's IDs, clothes, man. There, he just stashes it since he had to talk to the cops. I was there. There. Sean killed all three of them, man. I'm telling you, he murdered all three of them people, man. He's putting it off on what they ran off and everything. Why no? Yes. I don't know, man. Kelly's like my sister. I know all it, you know. Killed all three. I know he did, man. I know he did. He did, man. I'm telling you. Come on, they find a truck right by his house. You know what I'm saying? And it's on a trip already. You know what I mean? Like, she was shit. He's a smart one.
Wait, he said Sean? So Sean is the guy.
I guess he had to go talk to you or something. He goes to Kelly's like, watch, stashed in the back, and stealing. Gun.
So it seems like the nigga took his girl. Everybody else was cool with it. So he off the girl, everybody else. That's what it sounds like.
Three of them people, man. He's putting it off on what they ran off and everything. Why no? Yes. I don't know, man. Kelly's like my sister. I know all it, you know. I know he did, man. I know he did. He did, man. I'm telling you. Come on, they find a truck right by his house. You know what I'm saying? And he's on a trip already. You know what I mean? Like, she was shit. He's a smart man. He's good. Who called on me been missing for? He just barely reported his wife missing. His wife's been missing since like the 23rd. Since last month, you know what I mean? She's been missing the same time I've been missing. And after he left and everything, I had to go talk to you. Kelly went in there, opened everything, strapped her IDs, some personal preferences, clothes, and what she do with it? God, she wigged out. I had her with me the whole time. She was stripping. And then Danny Lemos took off with it. Danny was there too. Yeah, Danny Lemos took the gun. What vehicle was Danny walking? Walking? Yeah, he was walking. I'm telling you, man, like, he stripped me out yesterday. That's how I tied everything together yesterday when he did that. You know what I mean? Like, I know we lost in theory, man.
Josh claims that Sean arrived at the residence of a woman named Kelly DeSoto, carrying a bag he carefully hid in the ceiling of her home before leaving to speak with detectives at the police station. After Sean left, Kelly discovered the hidden bag, removed a gun from inside, and handed it off to a man named Danny Lemos, locally known as Dog, who quickly took the weapon and left on foot. When Sean returned and realized the bag was missing, he became visibly agitated, smashing his phone on the ground before storming out. These troubling claims raised immediate suspicion around everyone involved, including two new persons of interest, Kelly DeSoto and Daniel Lemos, both closely associated with Sean and Jennifer based on Josh's statement. Danny Lemos was nowhere to be found at the time, so Detective Turney knew he urgently needed to verify Josh's account by speaking directly with Kelly, and more importantly, find out if she was hiding anything that could help connect the dots in this increasingly tangled case. When investigators first arrived at Kelly's house, she agreed to meet them at the station for an interview, but refused their offer of a ride, saying her boss would bring her in about 30 minutes. However, when the time came, Kelly never showed up at the police station. It was a major red flag, and it made investigators even more suspicious of her. 2 hours later, Detective Turney returned to her house, suspecting that Kelly might be stalling for time or trying to cover something up.
Stop. Robert, Ben. The detectives.
Hi. You should have gotten me yet. I talked to my lawyer. I just wanted to know.
You don't have.
What is it about?
It's about the disappearance of Matthew Miller and Jennifer. Sean like.
Sean was not missing.
I don't know.
This time, Kelly's behavior was noticeably different. She appeared distraught, reluctant to cooperate, and quick to mention her lawyer. Detective Turney felt certain that she was withholding crucial information and decided to press harder.
Was Sean here yesterday?
He came out of school.
How many times? What did he do?
He came inside. He told me that he had to go down and report Jennifer missing.
Did Sean hide anything in the house that was really taken?
No.
Did he destroy his phone?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I forgot. He destroyed his phone.
Did he bring a bag inside that had a gun?
No.
Or Jennifer's identification cards? Did he look in it?
No.
Did Danny Lemos take the gun later?
No.
Do you think he did something to Jennifer and Matthew?
Honestly, don't. He doesn't seem like that type of person.
I think you're lying to me about the bag and the gun and Jennifer's ID.
Oh, no, I don't know anything about. Like, he asked me, he said, where's my.
anything?
Yeah, no, I didn't see him bring anything.
Oh, you're forgetting what I already told you.
I know. No.
Sean had some stuff in your shed.
Yeah, he didn't move. I don't know. He touched it.
Happened yesterday?
No. I don't think so.
You went through it?
No.
After some more pressure, Kelly admitted she had several suspicious bags in her shed, supposedly belonging to Sean. Curious about the contents of the bags, detectives quickly followed Kelly to take a closer look.
Yeah. I think that box there is not a very good. I'm sure it's not. And that pink can is not. That's what it is. That
On Jackson? You won't? She better search that creek and outside.
Despite their best efforts, detectives found no clear signs of blood or evidence linking back to the missing people. It was a frustrating dead end, and the chances of finding them seemed increasingly slim. At this stage, investigators had narrowed down their focus to several individuals close to the missing trio, each with conflicting stories and questionable behavior that kept detectives on edge. But without hard evidence, options were increasingly running out. Desperate for a breakthrough, Detective Turney secured a search warrant for Sean and Jennifer's former home at 817 Kingman Avenue. Unsure exactly what or who they might encounter, officers cautiously approached the property, prepared for any potential threat.
Yeah, I haven't been talking as much this video because, bro, I'm actually into this shit. I ain't gonna lie, bro. This is deep.
Yet again, investigators were too late. The house had already undergone extensive renovations, carpets removed, drywall stripped, any potential evidence completely erased. Unbeknownst to investigators at the time, the critical evidence they desperately needed was sitting in an abandoned truck, miles away, just waiting to be discovered. For
Bro
now,
just
though,
left it.
every possible lead was exhausted, and Detective Turney knew it was time for a more direct approach. So he called Sean once more, determined to extract something, anything, that could finally lead investigators to the missing trio.
Hey, is it Sean?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Sean, this is Detective Turney. How are you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
Good, man. I've been trying to get a hold of your other number. It's not working. So, you know anything new?
No, anything.
Okay. Are you still around town?
No, I mean, okay.
No, we've made some progress here and there. I've got a bunch of pictures of different vehicles. I'd like you to take a look at, see if you could help me identify them.
Get something more. I wanted to come in and stuff. I gotta return to the school.
Okay. All right. Just make sure the kids are taken care of, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, man.
We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.
Thanks.
Sean sounded cooperative and willing to help, promising Detective Turney he would come in for questioning. Yet, Sean never showed up. The next day, Turney even offered to personally pick Sean up and bring him to the station, but once again, Sean failed to appear. At this point, Turney felt certain Sean was deliberately stalling and knew they couldn't afford to waste any more time. He's done playing cat and mouse. With the CCTV footage and witness statements pointing directly at Sean and Danny as crucial figures, Detective Turney knew he needed to bring them in for questioning, so investigators dug deeper into both men's backgrounds, and that's when they hit the jackpot. Sean had an outstanding warrant for missing a court appearance related to a 2020 assault and battery charge. It was the break they needed. On February 25th, officers located Sean in Albuquerque and arrested him without incident, transporting him directly to the Grants Police Department for questioning. Detective Turney's goals for the interview were simple: determine exactly what Sean knew about the missing trio and find out where Danny Lemos had vanished after taking the alleged gun.
Let's go back to Matthew's truck. Okay, so it starts to back in there, and you're the last one who drove it, right? So let's go backward from when you parked it. Where did you go with it that day? Do you remember specifically?
The whole place I ever traveled was 1 McDonald's. I thought that was the last day we ever used it. And I got Smith's, we got water, food, Walmart, that's it. Is there a tracker on the truck? My phone was always on me, the whole line. I'm not going in the mountains. I have children. I don't have any bodies. Like, I was a medic in the Army. Like, I have 3 kids.
This right here that he's doing is a tactic to try to, actually push them away from the actual agenda of finding the solution to this problem. This is a common tactic that a lot of criminals use to try to make it seem like they're incapable of doing such and such things. Just because you're a fucking medic doesn't mean that you're incapable of doing this shit, my nigga. Come on, bro.
I don't think you're capable of doing something like this. I think you're very capable of defending yourself, though. An accident happens.
If it was nice, I would be like, it's self-defense. Because self-defense is feasible, but literally, no. The biggest fear in my house, why they built to stay in the house, was had a dog. Like, that guy scares me. I'm not gonna lie about it. So.
Who told you to park it there?
Justin? Justin was there at the house. I was talking with, they're all chilling over. So,
who's all there?
Jennifer, Justin, and another. And he gets a boatload of pills from him. And they're like, we're gonna go score. I mean, they didn't know nothing.
So you take the truck to the kids.
So they leave the truck. And literally, I'm like, well, I need to go. Like, can I get some fucking groceries or something? Okay. And literally, I'm like, what do we do with the truck? He's like, leave it. I'm like, yeah, leave it. We should hear it. No. I was like, can I go park in front? He just, no, I need to go to the dumpsters. I need to go $1 for water.
So they told you in the house when you're done with it to park at the Lubbock Apartments.
Matthew wanted to park it down the street. He said, no, I put it there near the parking. Just leave it there.
As the interview continued, Sean seemed to have an answer for everything, including the CCTV footage, claiming he only moved the truck at Matthew and Justin's request. He also appeared to casually downplay the entire incident, insisting the trio's disappearances were simply part of a drug-related business venture, nothing criminal. But Detective Turney wasn't buying it. He knew Sean's explanation didn't match witness statements, and his earlier actions were too suspicious to ignore. But without solid proof, Turney couldn't directly refute Sean's story. So, to move forward, Detective Turney changed tactics. He decided to deliberately introduce Danny Lemos into the conversation, offering Sean an easy scapegoat. If Sean took the bait, Turney might finally uncover what Sean was hiding, or at least gain insight into what really happened to the missing trio.
Did Danny kill him? I have no idea. I literally spent most of my time with it. If I had to guess who would kill him, it would be the guy who said, hey, well, I got dispose of bodies. I'm gonna put him in my cave and show me the cave one day because I saw him at his house. I don't think it's just for Matthew. I don't know much about it. Talk to dog. If someone's gonna move a body and put it somewhere, well, I guess the creepy dude that talks about pigs and everything with eyeballs, like, who would know that? Like, this dude's, I'm scared of dog, so, my kid's scared of dog, I'm scared of dog, I'm not fucking afraid of it. We get in the house, didn't go anywhere, I definitely didn't leave my kids for 5 hours.
Just as planned?
Yeah, it makes sense. You're scared of dogs, so you fucking tied it up and duh, my nigga. You're pointing at yourself now, bro.
The moment Danny Lemos' name came up, Sean seized the opportunity and implicated him, pointing to Danny's violent nature and even suggesting his ability to dispose of bodies using pigs. Beyond those accusations, however, Sean stuck to his story for the rest of the interview, denying any involvement in the disappearance. Without solid proof against him, detectives had no choice but to end their questioning. Still, Sean wasn't completely free. His outstanding warrant for failure to appear in court meant he'd spend the next 7 days in custody, and officers immediately transported him to the local jail. Investigators spent the following week interviewing acquaintances, re-examining evidence, and piecing together scattered leads. During their interview, one detail caught Detective Turney's attention: the mysterious red Ford truck that was spotted parked outside Sean's residence, later leaving with unknown contents loaded in the back. Investigators had not yet located this truck, and Turney strongly suspected it might hold something crucial to their case. For now, though, 3 people remained missing, and police narrowed their focus to 2 prime suspects: Sean Lannon, who was recorded on surveillance driving Matthew's truck and potentially connected to the missing red truck, and Danny Lemos, who allegedly received a handgun connected to Sean before disappearing himself. With each passing day, Turney grew more convinced that the missing trio had been murdered, and that their 2 prime suspects likely held the answers. But the window to find something conclusive was quickly closing, because on March 3rd, Sean completed his short jail sentence and was released back onto the streets, significantly raising the stakes. Now facing the possibility of losing another prime suspect, Detective Turney knew he had to act fast. All he needed was just one single lead, some hint of where the bodies might be hidden. On March 5th, officers received a call from the security at Albuquerque's Sunport Airport about an abandoned red Ford Ranger, eerily similar to the one from surveillance footage gathered during the investigation. What officers found inside would confirm the gruesome truth they'd been searching for.
It smells. Yeah, it smells, but not to like decompose or anything, I mean. Yeah. They called it in 1:30, but they said they didn't want to send anybody out here.
There's a pretty foul smell coming from the vehicle.
Yeah.
Every so often, I don't notice.
Yeah, I can't really tell what it was. I can't really think it smelled like decomp body or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I just smell something, but I can't tell what it was. It also smelled like dirty, big deal now. But yeah, no, we'll check it and all that good stuff. So.
In the back of the truck were several sealed storage bins, emitting an unmistakable smell of decay. And inside were the dismembered bodies of Jennifer Lannon, Matthew Miller, and Justin Mata. Jennifer had been shot at close range in the head. Justin had also suffered a gunshot wound to the head, along with severe blunt force injuries. And
Yo, he put them in a... So they're probably already decomposed at that part, which means there's been probably weeks of them. Probably not even, because I'm pretty sure it takes much longer for the body to break down and decompose. But if he's able to fit them inside those little bins, bro, I'm assuming they're like bones at that point.
And Matthew's body showed clear signs of massive head trauma, evidence he'd also been beaten to death. But the horrors didn't end there. Hidden beneath a tarp in the passenger seat was yet another body. Randall Apostolon, the truck's owner. His body showed signs of severe blunt force trauma, and a bloodied hammer found nearby.
So he stole the truck from this particular person and killed him.
Was
So he
clearly
went
used to kill him. Investigators found more disturbing evidence inside the truck. Multiple serrated knives stained with dried blood, a handsaw, and several pairs of industrial gloves. All clearly pointing to a calculated, cold-blooded murder. It was still unclear to investigators why Randall had been murdered or how his death was connected to the other three, but they wouldn't have to wait long to find out. Detectives urgently
Man, if this is his truck, he probably stole his truck.
to the Albuquerque airport surveillance cameras, knowing the truck hadn't driven itself there. And it didn't take long before they spotted exactly who they were looking for.
I swear these ads know when to they know when to pop up on the screen at the best parts.
On March 3rd, 2021, just 2 days before the gruesome discovery, the airport's cameras captured Sean Lannon driving the truck into the airport parking lot, exiting the vehicle, and leaving behind the bodies of his 4 victims. Finally, detectives found...
Yeah, trust me. Nigga, you got 4 to 5 bodies inside your car, bro. That's been dead, bro. You know the smell, bro. You know it's dead people in there, bro. You got a body in the passenger seat, and then 3 in the back, bro. Bro, he's clearly the suspect here, bro.
Their killer. It was time to track Sean down and bring him in. On the same day the bodies were discovered.
Like, it's an airport. It's the most place with the most surveillance camera, bro. Like, you nigga, you should have just turned yourself in at that point if that was your motive to just put the car there, my nigga.
Police urgently scrambled to track down Sean Lannon, but it was already too late. Sean had slipped out of Albuquerque and vanished. Immediately, the U.S. Marshals issued a nationwide alert, believing Sean posed an active threat and was possibly on a violent crime spree. Authorities across multiple states joined the manhunt to track him down before anyone else was harmed. Then, on March 9th, Detective Turney received a disturbing call. U.S. Marshals informed him that Sean Lannon was now wanted in connection to another murder, this one committed just a day earlier in New Jersey. Authorities had linked Sean to the murder of Michael Zepkowski through witness statements and surveillance footage that placed him...
It's crazy that they had this nigga inside court. He know he killed 5 people and still got out.
Directly at the scene. A quick background check also revealed the victim wasn't a random target. Debkowski was someone Sean had personally known for many years. It was an alarming detail that made it clear Sean's violent spree was far from over. Now with 5 bodies discovered and a serial killer on the loose, police knew anyone in Sean Lannon's circle could be next, and they had to act fast. Federal authorities urgently tracked Sean's movements, closely monitoring surveillance footage and cell phone data. And finally, on the morning of March 10th, U.S. Marshals pinpointed Sean's location in St. Louis, Missouri, and they quickly moved in and captured him without incident. Sean Lannon was immediately extradited back to New Jersey, finally putting an end to his killing spree. By now, the evidence against Sean Lannon was overwhelming. Investigators had more than enough to charge him, but there were still critical questions that only Sean could answer. They still needed to understand exactly why he committed these horrific murders and determine whether he acted alone or if others helped him carry out and conceal evidence.
Man, of course he's gonna try to bring somebody down with him, man.
Detective Turney sat down face-to-face with Sean. He expected more lies and deception, but surprisingly, Sean didn't resist or deny anything. Instead, he resigned to his fate, openly admitting he was tired of running and knew his capture was inevitable. In his own words, he simply wanted it to be over. So, with nothing left to hide, Sean would give detectives exactly what they hoped for. A chilling, detailed account of the murders and the twisted reasons behind each one.
Jen was already out with her. Wasn't enough to take her life, so she wanted to make sure she wanted to, for sure. Because I realized she was breathing. She was gonna OD. Going down the room, psyched myself up, repeating that. I had an emotionally charged statement of, you killed the Garrison baby. So I had whatever to do it. But,
technically, this nigga got 6 hats, bro. Bro, we didn't even forget about the dog, too, bro.
pistol on her head, and I pulled the trigger. It's like home. A second later, I was supposed to film the bed too. I put that pistol in my mouth. I handle up. Just some fast off my teeth. I said, cry out. I was like, I do now. Full of sugar, kissing the city, both our hands went off. And we left the side. So the ground's out down, I didn't trust her. Closed the bedroom door, got the kids normal. Set them up in the room. In the vehicle. My John's boyfriend drove the truck from the car around. So I pretty much lives right inside the there's a storage bed. A long one. The sheets that were around the bedding in the bed of the box.
Bro, how do you put a body in a storage bin that small?
This number if they're containers at work. It's awful and traumatic. It's thinking about it. So much. I knew I was living on borrowed time at that point, so I need to get my kids somewhere safe to cope. So I continue with back out now. All while still paying just a month. So you're responsible for the drug and do that to my kids. So like a week, I came to the house. So I was in the laundry room. Can I go to the garage? So I killed him. Just before I killed him, he offered up a trade. His phone had pictures of Shawn Michael standing there naked in my living room. And then we're like him or Matthew. No, we whatever. Using this. My son Josh. I said, here's this picture. He's like, it's got another.
So before he killed him, the dude was like, let me show you something. He showed a picture of a dude that's naked holding his dick with his meat on his son's head. That's crash out worthy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's like, if I'm not mistaken, you took this nigga's ball, you took this nigga's girl. Actually, never mind. I don't think his girl got took. He went to the other girl. But bro, putting your meat on a kid, bro. I won't stand for that at all, bro. No justification of this dude being wrong for killing these people. Yes, of course. But bro, that's next level, bro. And the fact that somebody took a picture of that, bro, that's crazy.
Really, I took the picture. I said, oh, he took that picture.
Oh, he took the picture. He's like, oh, you took that picture, so basically, like, you fine with this? And he's like, yeah, I'm off this nigga.
He just messed it in the picture. It's fine. I said, there's, he was right over the Facebook genocide. He wanted to know if he could do a shot before genocide. So I said, well, if you find any in the vent, so I let me stuff.
So these niggas is just like, he's like, yeah, before you kill me, can I get like a shot of heroin? Bro, you are an addict, bro. You're about to die, bro. You don't even think about fighting back. While being in a state where you can literally protect yourself. Like, your first thought is, yeah, let me get some heroin first.
He wanted to know if he could do a shot before genocide. So I said, well, if you find any in the vent, so I let me stuff you down in the vent. You didn't see it coming. And I shot him back in the head. I was trying to very pretty tough dude. And the dismember ammo stuff went down later. Disgusting me. That's gross. They never got the nerves to move bodies. So there's so much blood. That's why I ended up putting the floor up in that room. I saw everyone that was the floor and it was all up in the kid's bedroom.
Bro, he did that fast, bro. He did all the renovations quickly, bro. That's scary, bro, how many people could do this too.
The carpet was outside the house, so it was tatting, I think. So for some reason, still there when left. It took 2 hours for quite enough. The ability to took me or Justin.
You got Justin over there. Was this shortly after? Like, how long through the time did you after that you shoot Jennifer? Did you shoot Justin?
It was at least a week. Took a while. I was baiting as if I was Jennifer on film.
Yeah. So you thought you was Jennifer?
Yeah. I also had pictures of Daniel Lamos and my son. I never got my hands on Daniel Lamos. I fully excited. So I sent back to New Mexico for yesterday. If I did, it'd be in the box, of course. So then I have the 3 of them, probably.
So he admits that he wanted to kill Danny too.
The kid comes over, William or Matthew, comes over with Felicity, his girlfriend. She looked like she was like 12 years old. And she tricked anyone from them too. So he's like, they're looking for money for anything. I give you food fight. I like this take like $40.
So basically now he's saying that he went to the girl and he basically just wanted food, he wanted something. He realized that, like, bro, if I kill this person, like, it sounds like he spared a specific person.
So maybe he's later, we give me a ride to get some water, and I'll get less recommend water. So one of those times he came back, he didn't have Felicity, and that's when I shot him in the back of the head.
This is crazy, bro. Like, this happened in real life, bro. This is not no video game. This is a video game, like, but it's real life. It's sad.
Something he brought me the box in the back. I couldn't have enough. I couldn't fall off money there. That's the vehicle, so he should take the truck back. So I found some else for them. The box is the base, storage containers. I was gonna hold them for $50. He went enough $300 once we got to his place. Wait, another $300 to hold them. Boxes. So I didn't have $300.
So the dude that owned the truck, that sounds like he's like, yeah, I can hold the truck. I can hold the stuff in the truck for a couple more days for $300. He didn't have $300, so it sounds like he just left him.
Came back to the Pearl. Box was still in bed. Pulled in right there. Got in fight. I killed him in the front seat. He was driver's seat.
Throughout his confession, Sean remained eerily composed, showing almost no emotions. Even more chilling is the fact that just hours after dismembering the bodies and brutally killing Randall, Sean was picked up by police on an unrelated warrant and sat across from Detective Turney.
Wait, before?
The bodies and brutally killing Randall, Sean was picked up by police on an unrelated warrant and sat across from Detective Turney, coldly denying any involvement, while a truck full of bodies was parked just a few blocks away.
So, Tuesday I took the
They don't even look like the same person, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Know anybody? What do you do with the bodies? Wasn't trying to do stuff like going to get caught. Just want the kids back home. I took them to the airport the day before. And I positioned them. Just everything was the same. just good faithful. That's not obvious. Then took a, I believe it was Uber to help right to the room. Next day, so I'm waiting on sign. Again. So I didn't find the bodies at the airport in the box. And last thing on my list was the man that gave me his job, my big brother. Big brother's big sister's over there.
What did he say?
Last thing on my list was the man that gave me his job, my big brother.
So this dude, I'm not sure yet if this is his big brother, as he just said. He just says big brother, but he just mentioned that this dude molested him as a child. I hope this will not be his brother.
And last thing on my list was the man that gave me his job, my big brother. Big brother's big sister's over there. There you go, two. One of the pictures back. Yep.
So this guy molested him, his brothers, and his sisters as a child.
When I gave him pictures, so I started beating. And he gave me pictures. It looks like.
So pictures of what, bro?
I just find something to make it back to finish getting the nails.
The last victim in Sean's killing spree was his former mentor, Michael Debkowski, a man Sean accused of him during childhood and believed still had photographs of that. When Debkowski refused to hand over those photographs, Sean killed him without hesitation. But just as detectives thought they heard everything from Sean, he would make one final, shocking statement. There were even more bodies waiting to be found.
And so the other 11, you said started about 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago?
11? Nigga.
And you disarmed them from guns, and you said knives?
Knives. Yeah. It's like a big knife. It's not big.
15 bodies, bro.
Like if you had to think back, how many out of the 11 were shot and how many were stabbed? Like if you elaborate on any of that. 2 were shot. 2. And then how many were stabbed?
The rest of them.
The rest of them. So 9.
According to Sean, he'd killed at least 11 additional people, mostly drug dealers tied to Jennifer, and hidden their bodies in remote areas of Malpais National Park. Detectives approached these claims cautiously, knowing Sean was a skilled manipulator who mixed truths with calculated lies. Perhaps this was his last attempt to influence the outcome of his trial later on. But despite extensive searches, no additional bodies were ever discovered, and Sean's claims remained unverified. Detectives also investigated one of the key persons of interest directly implicated by Sean himself, Danny Lemos. He was located in Albuquerque and arrested by U.S. Marshals on March 25, 2021. Danny agreed to speak with Detective Turney, firmly denying any involvement and expressing shock that Sean was even capable of these horrific crimes. He admitted taking the handgun Sean had hidden at Kelly's house, but claimed he had no idea it was tied to a murder and had quickly sold it afterwards. After exhaustive interviews and reviewing all available evidence, detectives eventually cleared Danny, along with all other potential suspects, ultimately concluding Sean acted entirely alone. In October 2022, Sean pleaded guilty to the first-degree murder of Michael Debkowski in New Jersey. He was sentenced to 35 years in prison. And in May 2024, he pleaded guilty to killing Jennifer Lannon, Justin Mata, Matthew Miller, and Randall Apostolone, receiving 4 consecutive 15-year sentences.
95.
As part of his plea agreement, Sean will serve his sentence in New Jersey first, then return to New Mexico to serve an additional 60 years.
So bro don't even get a life sentence. He gets 35 years. You know, there's a possibility he lives to beat that, but that's crazy though. I feel like it's not enough justice here.
Behind bars.
He needs life. Death penalty. Yo, this is crazy. This took a crazy turn. Holy, this video is 42 minutes. I hope y'all enjoyed. We out.